Recording in progress.
Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to witness this important moment, a signing ceremony between AfRICA24 group, media, and the the AfCFTA African Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat. Your Excellency, I'm going to brief you through the different steps of the event. We first have opening remarks by His Excellency, the Secretary General, His Excellency Wampele Mene, followed by the remark of the President of the media group, Mr. Constant Nimale. Your Excellency, without further notice, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Monsieur Nimale, bon arrivée, and most welcome to the AfCFTA Secretariat. It's a pleasure to have you here. I value our partnership because you are our voice. You speak for us as Africans, and you speak for us the truth. And we must not take that for granted. CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, there are many others. But you are a true African voice that speaks, articulates our vision as Africans. And in my opinion, this is very important. We have to express, articulate our vision as Africans. And we must do it from our hearts. And this is exactly what you do. I must tell you, Chairman, I was in Lomé at the airport. I was connecting. And they showed on television, they showed on your channel, they showed Zelekaf, and they showed people who were trading, and they showed President Yusufu, they showed the chairperson Musa Faki Mahamat, they showed President Kagame. I was so proud. I smiled to myself. So the gentleman next to me said, "Why are you smiling?" I said, "Because of what I'm watching." He said, "Why are you smiling?" I said, "Because of what I'm watching." So we need to nurture our collaboration because you tell the story for Africans. You were in Bahamas. You were in Bahamas, you were telling a story for Africans. So for me, this is really a very, very important partnership. Actually, it is the most important partnership for me. It's the most important partnership because we need Africa's media to tell the story as it is. So I really want to express my deep appreciation for you giving us an opportunity to be in a partnership, so that we continue to espouse and express our own values as Africans, and to tell the continent and the rest of the world it is not about the coup d'etat. Our continent is more than a coup d'etat in certain countries, that there's something very positive to tell. And this positive story, Chairman, is that 47 countries have ratified ZLECAf. We are trading. Goods are moving. We were in Nigeria 3 days ago. Nigeria started exporting under ZLECAf. So it's not just about a coup d'etat or Sudan. There's more happening on our continent, and you are the voice that will express that positivity of what is happening on our continent. Very, very important. I don't want to go to CNN and BBC. I don't want to go to CNN, BBC, to convince them to say this is what we are doing, and please tell us, tell the continent that this is what we are doing. So for me, I value the partnership very much because you put me on television. You put me on television. I am in an airport somewhere. I see myself. I say, look at this guy talking nonsense. And that is me on television talking nonsense. But in all honesty, I value the partnership. I value the collaboration. I would really, really impress upon you that we continue on this path, because nobody is going to tell our story except us as Africans. Nobody is going to say that this is the positive that is happening in Africa except us. It's not going to be the British, it's not going to be the Chinese, it's not going to be the Americans. Nobody is going to do that except us as Africans. So I am so excited about our partnership, and I look forward to the friendship, the collaboration, the working together, and I mean it from my heart. From my heart. That we have got to make sure that as Africans we narrate our own story. So Chairman, thank you very much, and you are most welcome.
Monsieur Constant Nemale, vous êtes le président du groupe AfRICA24 Média. L'honneur vous revient donc de prendre la parole pour réagir à ces mots de bienvenue de son Excellence Wamkele Mene. Je vous prie de prendre la parole.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Et comme vous le savez, je viens d'un pays bilingue, où on parle français et anglais comme langue officielle. So I may switch from English to French or from French to English. Sometimes I don't know exactly. Very thank you for your kind of work, for your kind of word, and thank you also for the team spirit that you brought since the launch of AFTCA. This year is a special year for us. It's the 15 years anniversary of AfRICA24. I created this group and I launched this group in 2009. At that time, there was 5 challenges. And I will never forget. The first challenges was people was asking me, why? Does African people they have French television? At that time, they have CNN. Why do they want to launch a news television for Africa? There's no need for that. And I remember telling someone, in Africa, there's a proverb that says, you never see a chicken going to hunt with the lions. It's like, what do you mean by that? If the lion's going to hunt and don't find something with the chicken, when they come back, you'll be looking at chicken like, And that's what's happening every day. When you have someone complain, oh, we don't have good stories of Africa. See, they're showing coup d'etat, they're showing this, they're showing that. Don't wait anything else. Second things, and second challenge, when I created the group media, was the leadership. We need to change the leadership in Africa. And from the bottom of my heart, our leadership in Africa is on the hand of African women. That's where it's the heart, the spirit, the power of Africa. It's not into our head. When you grow, I will never be here with you without my mother. She was single, 28 years old when my father passed away. So I know exactly what's the power of a woman to raise. That's why my first decision when I launched the channel, 65% of my employees was women. And people who watch AfRICA24 would tell you one thing that's happened. That's the first time it's happened in the television in the world. The only anchors we have in the channel for the news channel are women. There's no man who has been presenting the news. No one. Sometimes it's brought other problem, but the reality is this. It's become a challenge. And the third challenge was what we are doing here. I dream to be here in this position. And the first day, I will remember, we was at Addis Ababa, was just signing the MOU it was in 2019, between AfRICA24 and African Union, and he was selected. Selected. And that day, I remember I was sitting in the place and I say, here we are. The game changer is here. The game changer is here. Because there's things we don't want to say because we want to be, we say in French, political correct. But the reality is that on behalf of you, because Wamkele will not do anything without you, even him himself, he doesn't realize how he's become the game changer. By voicing the idea that someone can just imagine what's happening sometimes. You have a farmer. You make your tomatoes here in this border in Cameroon. You cannot cross the road and go into Gabon and sell your tomato. So you let your tomato down. Do you know, people, how many tomatoes can pay schools of children? Can pay hospital? Can pay education? We're losing 75% of our agricultural production. That's wrong. And because of international pressure, international policies, because those are the people, they have the policies. They have the policies for their wealth. They have the policies to get more resources from us. You see, sometimes I'm out. You walk on the street, Belgian chocolate. You would think, okay, where's the cacao farm here in Belgium? Nowhere. Italian chocolate or Italian coffee. Okay. Well, let me tell you, I like yams, and yam is also good. And you tell our story step by step like that. And my question was, what is our challenge? What is our problem? And one head of state in 2009 told me, Constant, why are you want to do this channel? There's no African people, there's no, that's it for white people. We're gonna do this in Africa. Well, today, we are inside 90 million households. We have more than 8 million subscribers on website, on social media, and those things. We start with one channel, Africa24 News in French. Today we have a full channel, 24 hours, Africa24 in English. But this gentleman doesn't realize that he's the one behind Africa24 in English. It was in the conference, he came to me and said, I can't follow, you sent me the interview, but it's in French. So I was, okay, we're doing the translation, but we need to do it also to provide it.
By the way, after 7 o'clock, my French is perfect.
It's perfect. Then we went to Africa24 Sport, because one of the things that bring trade in Africa, sport or culture. We dance on Amapiano, of Afrobeat from Nigeria, from Kinshasa, Rumba. Nobody asks you to pay custom when you want to dance songs like it. Nobody asks you to pay custom. Okay? Nobody asks you to pay taxes to watch a game. At that time, we all. See, just when an African team play in the World Cup, we all African. Yeah. One supporter. But today with AfCFTA, we one trade. And that's changed the world game. That's changed the world game. A statistic show you that if an African countries could sell most of its production to those across, just imagine, for example, 3 years or 4 years ago, Cameroon refinery from Cameroon fell down. Dangote just built one of the biggest refineries in Africa. It's just a pipeline. Then all the country around, we have access to oil and gas. Instead of taking the US dollar and send it to the wealth of someone in America. Nigeria, just a small example. You all know plantain. When you do frying the plantain, Nigerian people, they eat that like a fufu. But there's less of that in Nigeria. 75% of plantain in Cameroon because of transformation, because of custom, because of border. This guy, they say, okay, we cannot cross. And you guys came and changed the vision we have. What should we do in terms of media? Keep telling every day, showing the story, showing our company, giving the award to people. We didn't sign this to say, okay, this is what the money would be paying to us or whatever. We have to invest because you did the job by changing. We as a media, we now have to come and find the knowledge you have in this house and spread it around across the continent. We need to wake up in the morning and say, okay, before finding something in China or in Greece or wherever, do we have the same product here? Do we have the same product in the continent? So this is a challenge for us. I'm very proud also the way one can bring it, because leadership is not only voice, it's also acting. Acting by showing to people that you believe, you trust yourself. When we launched Africa24, I trust myself. That was my money first. Before I had the support from EG, before I had the support from Cameroon, it was my money first. Just imagine that Al Jazeera is 1 billion budget per year. France 24 is 300 millions, paying by government. CNN is 800. I say, listen, we start with 5 millions. We start with 5 million. People was, you cannot do a TV, go everywhere with that amount of money. But the TV, the reality is that the real fuel of the TV is the narrative. It's the story you put in. It's not the cost of the studio or whatever. It's the money you put in. It's the story. And this AfCFTA spirit gives you such huge numbers of stories across the continent. Just going to Benin, just here in Ghana, you make a story of someone who doing this project. He can say that in all Africa. Other Africans will be watching. So the MOU we signed today and be here today after 15 years of this fight with all my employees, Ali, and all those guys who work in the company, is also a fuel for us. It's a challenge for us. We need to be with you. We need to be with the FCTA. We need to bring it all across the continent. And we are going to be successful. Definitively. We are going to be successful because here, sometimes I like to be pragmatic. We are going to invest to bring here, in this building or in Ghana, training session for journalists across Africa. You have to train them. So, starting in September, we are going to bring journalists across the continent to train them about the challenge of AfCFTA. First thing. We are definitely going to have some special program, exactly what we did with AfRIC24. We started like this with AfRIC24 5 years ago, and this year we launched AfRIC24 TV. If you go to AfRIC24 TV, you will see all those stories, including our secretary and what you guys are doing here. But this will be specific. I'm quite sure that in the next 2 years, I'm definitely sure on this challenge, we will have AfCFTA TV across the world. Because this is something we need to bring. We will invest for that. And also, we should go out and voice. We should go out and be able with you guys to say, okay, how can we do conference between CEDAW and CEMAC? How do those people trade in the AfCFTA policies?
Thank you.
We know that the media also is influences. If a government, if a country doesn't want to come, we will voice in the media daily. They don't come. They don't want to follow. We will show that to people. So nobody likes failure. Nobody likes to expose his own failure. So the correction of the media also would be to say, we failed on this. This is the way we correct. AfCFTA is here to correct 100 years, I will say 2 or more of mistake. Because trust us, if our continent was based on AfCFTA policies, vision, strategy, we will not seek help for other peoples. Those guys, they come here to take all material they need to build their countries. 65% of raw material in the world in Africa. Agriculture in Africa. That's why for us as a media, we need to educate our people. We are a member of African Union Broadcasting. So I speak with President Jaka. African Union Broadcasting will be part, all the media will be part of this. We will bring it out. They will be part of this. And I think that we will also invest to have maybe a meeting, a yearly meeting between all the African media and AfCFTA. They will come here in this room, sitting. They need to understand this challenge. It's a daily work. For AfRICA24, signing this also, I take it personally for you. When we have a chance, that's what I say at the beginning, that it was the first time I saw you and I see the way you took this challenge. If it was in your heart into it, it's not nothing else wouldn't be successful. And believe, I remember the first subtitle of AfRICA24 was Believe in Africa. And when I saw our leader, the first time, the first speech at African Union, say, Wamkele believe in Africa. Today, our baseline is Attractive Africa. Because after all this year of working, it was not easy for you guys at AfCFTA. For him, for you, you now make Africa attractive. So that's make the connection with AfRICA24. We are Attractive Africa, and we're more attractive AfRICA24 and AfCFTA. And this is a big challenge we're going to take to raise and definitively to win. Thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup, hein. Merci bien. J'ai parlé bien français après-midi.
Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, I know you are here to witness this important moment. I would like to invite the protocol officers to put aside the coffee to avoid any mistake on this important moment we are going to witness. Please kindly focus your attention on our two principals. They are going to initial the document and they will sign it. Later on, they will exchange the document through the protocol officers, and they will have a presentation of the document to the public, and then have a group, a handshake photo. Please kindly witness this important moment. distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this is an important moment. A signatory with an important media group, a continental one, the fourth power, as you know. That's why I would like to invite the head of communication on this table to try to get some feelings.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, colleagues. Mine is a very short one today. I know we had invited the media. Oh, sorry, boss.
Thank you. Yes. Mine is a very short one to say, I know we invited the media to be here for a press conference after the signing of the MOU, and we appreciate it. But as you can imagine, our big bosses have very big schedules, and we started late. So we sincerely apologize that we won't be opening up for a press briefing, but we've got media packs outside, including all the information around the MOU. What's important, as both His Excellency indicated and the chairperson indicated, this is the new beginning and a beautiful partnership between ourselves and Africa24. I know my big bosses will not kill me, but let me please acknowledge my brother, whom I've worked very hard with, Muhammad Ali, who has helped to work behind the scenes to make this, a very productive MOU that we have. So I sincerely apologize again, my media colleagues. If there are any queries, we will give you another time. I'm sure we'll find some time in my boss's busy schedule to invite you again for another detailed media briefing in the near future. I hope you understand. You do, eh? We've got lunch packages for you outside. One or two?
Yeah.
Okay. He's graceful enough to take one or two colleagues. So we're going to stick to 2 maximum questions. Please raise your hand and, as usual, identify yourself and the institution you come from.
So, Chairman, whilst our colleague journalists are pondering their questions, let me give a state of play where we stand in the implementation of the AfCFTA. There are 47 state parties as we speak. That is to say, 47 countries have ratified the agreement establishing the AfCFTA. Only one country has not signed. So the political momentum is there, and the political will is there to make sure that we advance to reduce and eliminate barriers to intra-Africa trade. The question that always is asked is Africa trading? Are goods moving between borders? And the answer is unequivocally yes. I mentioned we were just in Nigeria last week, Nigeria exporting goods under the rules of the AfCFTA. Before that, I was in Algeria, and Algeria importing milk from Uganda. So the trading is happening. And the rules that enable the trade to happen, many countries are upholding the rules and enforcing them. So the answer to the question that you have not asked is that trading is happening under the preferences or in pursuant to the preferences of the AfCFTA. Do we have a percentage of volume of trade? No, we do not. We do not have a percentage of volume of trade, and the reason we do not is because measuring trade happens at national level, customs authority level. So we will need 1-2 years to measure the volume of trade that is happening. We do know that the trade is happening because certificates of origin, the evidence is that certificates of origin are being issued between and amongst countries. What remains an open question is the volume of the trade, and we are as interested as you are in determining with precision the volume of trade. I was asked by a journalist from the Financial Times a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. Journalist says, you Africans, you said that you are now, we want to see. Show us, where's the trade? I told him, you are intellectually dishonest. Because in 1947, 1948, who asked the European Union, are you trading? When they established the European Coal and Steel Pact. Who asked the European how much volume is happening? Because everybody knows. You don't establish a free trade area in less than 2 years. But you've got to start first with the rules. And so we have achieved that very, very important step, which is the rules for trade. We have concluded all of the protocols. The most recent was a protocol on women and youth in trade, a protocol on digital trade. We have concluded all of the protocols. So the legal foundation is there. And by the way, I believe as Africans we must be extremely proud because there is no other trade agreement in the world that has captured all of the development aspirations that we want to see. It doesn't exist. Nowhere in the world. We have taken as Africans all the aspirations that we have. Industrial development, inclusion of women and young people. And we have codified all of these aspirations into legally binding obligations, into law. It has not happened anywhere else in the world. It has not happened. There is no other protocol on women and youth in trade in the world except here on the continent of Africa, and we've done that. So the question, is Africa trading? The answer, yes. Africa is trading. The volumes, we cannot know now because it's too soon to tell now. We cannot honestly tell Africans this is the percentage because we need time. You need at least 4 or 5 years to have a measure of volumes of trade. It can't be done before that. Second, as I mentioned, the issue of the market. Goods are flowing. There are challenges, as you know. There are challenges, infrastructure, deficit, transport, logistics, the cost of trade, the cost of money, the cost of trade finance, the lack of movement of persons across borders. These are challenges that are there. So I do not want for a moment to suggest that we don't have challenges and all is well. What I will say to you is this, that in less than 5 years, we have done as Africans much more than anybody expected us. In less than 5 years, we have done much more than anybody expected us to integrate our market. We did it in the face of overwhelming challenges. We did it because we were able to achieve it because the political will is there. Our heads of states are fully committed. The legal commitment is there. Yesterday, we hosted the Prime Minister of Egypt here. Last month, the month before, we hosted President Ruto. We have hosted here over 15 heads of states. So the political momentum is with us. And the commitment is, in my view, is unmatched, unparalleled in terms of what we're trying to achieve as Africans. So I think that as Africans, we must, sometimes we need to give ourselves credit for what we have done. You cannot tell me of a digital trade protocol anywhere else in the world. I emphasize, yes, there are challenges. Trade finance is expensive. Infrastructure, transport, logistics, I emphasize these challenges will be there. But Adesina will tell you, President Adesina himself will tell you, that in the last 5 years, they have invested over $50 billion in infrastructure in Africa. President Orama will tell you that since AfRic's has been established, they have invested over $20 billion in trade supporting infrastructure in Africa. So I take the view that we really need to emphasize on how far we have come to create this single market. Sometimes I get asked, Chairman, are we going to have a single currency? My humble opinion is that let's learn from Greece, Portugal. Let's learn from these countries in terms of macroeconomic convergence criteria, what is required to reach. Let's learn from them before we talk. But I do believe that we are on solid ground. We are moving. We have to confront the challenge of movement of persons. We must tackle this challenge. So I'm preempting the questions that you may have. Is trading happening? And it's happening. Trading is happening. Why do we not want to tell the story? Why do we want to talk about a coup d'etat here, a coup d'etat there, instability there? Trade is happening. So really, I think all of us as Africans, we must sit back and reflect. Reflect on our successes, reflect on what we've been able to achieve. In 2018, they told us, I will tell you a story. President Kagame said in 2018, for the AfCFTA, they are congratulating us because they think that we cannot do it. They are congratulating us because they think that it can't be done. 45 countries signed in March 2018. The following year, the agreement entered into force. They said Africans can't do it. They'll just talk forever. Africans don't have a history of achieving anything. Agreement entered into force. Then they shifted the goalposts. They said Africans will not implement it. And they said it joyfully, that Africans will not achieve it, they won't do it. They shifted the goalpost again. When we are trading. Now they are saying to me, show us the data. Show us the data. So they keep shifting the goalposts because we keep achieving. 2018 in Rwanda, in March, our heads of state said, we're going to do it. They said, you are not going to be able to do it because you don't have a history of achieving anything. And then now here we are. So for me, you don't know how proud I am to be an African today, because we've done it. You don't know how proud I am, because we've done it. So we are trading, goods are moving, we have harmonized rules, we have challenges, infrastructure, the cost of, but we are moving. And our heads of states are leading us. We are moving, our heads of states are leading us. So my message, Chairman, to all Africans is, we are moving, it's getting done. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, it's painful. Yes, it's going to take time. Yes, all of these challenges will be there. But we are moving. And we are emphasizing small, medium enterprises, entrepreneurs. These are the center, these are segments of Africa's society that are at the heart of what we are trying to do as Africans. Young people, SMEs. So this is, I know we were not scheduled to have an exchange, but I wanted to brief you on this, to tell you that we are moving and that the free trade area is happening, and that we are going to get this done. We are going to get this done. And we must believe in ourselves as Africans. We must believe in ourselves that we can get this done and overcome all of these challenges that will continue to confront us. But fortunately, we have President Orama. He has a lot of money. We have President Adeshina. He has a lot of money. So we can deploy capital to finance the trade that we want to see. So I sleep very peacefully at night because I am very, very, very confident that our continent is moving in the right direction. But we need you, Chairman, to help us to relay that positive story. So I have spoken longer than scheduled, but I thought that it's important to give you a sense of where things stand. So Chairman, thank you very much. Over to you.
Thank you. I think most of the question you raise is about communication and information. I don't think us as Africans, we need to respond to other people who are asking us, prove us that you're doing trade, do this, do this. We have our own agenda. We're working on our own agenda. As you said at the beginning, nobody thought that we can do this free market. There was another challenge, the currency. AfRICA24 just launched the PAP system. You all learn about the PAP system. Can you imagine that Europeans and other countries are spending a lot of money to lock the PAP system? Because today, with the PAP system, you don't need to transfer. Imagine just at the beginning, two countries close together. You have product here, you want to sell the product to your brothers, you need to transfer your money to New York. Someone is sitting in New York, taking his own commission because just of your trade of tomatoes. Are we serious? So, I truly understand the question you raised, and innovation should be a part of challenge. So we should quickly, in this partnership and in this MOU, launch a trading platform that gives information on trading on daily basis in Africa. Our youth can do that. Just trading platform with statistics inside. So we will launch that. I spoke in my brother, he's in the room, Albert, the chairman of media and journalists here in Ghana. And Albert, I told you this morning that it was our challenge as African media to make sure that exactly what's happening. They give numbers on daily basis of raw materials. Let's go up, down, go up. In Africa television, we should be able to give also number, maybe on weekly basis and later on daily basis of trade in Africa. This is a concept of program we should be working as we will go out with some type of award, and also as we will go out with Free Trade Area Festival, going to every country in Africa, have them do a festival of free trade, showing what they can wait for other countries in Africa. We should understand this. Every time we sell something between us, it's a position that somebody else doesn't sell to us. What do you want them to promote us? What do you want the China people, Russian people, American people to come and say, African, they can do tomato better than Heinz ketchup or whatever? What do you want them to do? They come take tomatoes to us and they say, okay, say our tomatoes is good. They take chocolate to us and say, our chocolate is good. Ghanaian chocolate is better than anyone in the world. Ghanaian chocolate is better than the one you sell in Italy or whatever, or Ghanaian coffee. So we should go out and be able to promote that. I think part of the challenge today on the work you did, communication, information, and knowledge. So we should have a registers that shows all the company able. We should promote the fact that if you have a problem of oil and gas, you have a refinery of Dangote close to you. Mm-hmm. Sometimes people are, okay, wait, yes, they know that they can go to Dangote refinery. But they take both from Switzerland, from other countries, to bring the same thing they have close to them. We need to keep telling that on a daily basis. It's a challenge. We need to help. You know, most of the time, people think that free trade is, sorry to say that, when people come and challenge you, free trade is not one kilo trade. Okay? Free trade is all of us. But we have our leader to bring this outside. We know that our leader will have the challenge for other people. American people will invest for true free trade in Africa, but saying, but we invest for, but we are losing market. When you guys are doing free trade between you, it's our product that will stay out. So we need to understand this. We need to bring the narrative to our people. And you raise some of the question here is for us as a media to bring you the answer on the table. It's for us as a media to bring you the solution and to make sure that this solution you bring to a head of state, you bring to other people and say, okay. So the data will be, let's say in 1 year, I think we will have a serious data platform of media showing the free trade in Africa and other challenge. I want one more time to thank you, to thank Grace, Elodia, Edora, and all the team, and the journalists here. They revert the challenge. The challenge is now in our hand. Mm-hmm. I'm not here like only for Africa24. My challenge, I played basketball when I was young. I grew up in playing basketball. I work with the NBA. My challenge is not, and at the end of the day, my ego is not so big that I can think, okay, it's Africa24, it's Constant Nemale being successful in this MOU. This MOU, for me, is including every single media, every single journalist in Africa. It will be a work on a daily basis, a daily challenge. We will not have that on it, but we will see the results together.
Thank you, Chairperson. Thank you, Secretary General. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for attending. As they are leaving, we'll just play a video for you guys, but the Chairperson and the Secretary General will be there. We're just acknowledging this moment for today.
So it's a very
Memorandum of Understanding to enhance major collaboration on continental internet. The main objective is enhanced communication by providing coverage of dissemination of activities events and achievement.
Speeches, audio. I do both. Audio.
Recording stopped.
Like, you know what it is like, for example, it's only like 40 minutes.